Welcome to the Redacted Apostate. Today we delve into the enigmatic world of charismatic leaders, focusing on one of history's most infamous figures, Jim Jones and the People's Temple. Now, Jim Jones was more than just a preacher. He was a master of persuasion who captivated thousands with his compelling vision and charismatic presence. His People's Temple, initially founded as a sanctuary for the marginalized and oppressed, grew into a sprawling community that offered solace and purpose to its members. But what exactly was it about Jim Jones and the People's Temple that drew people in? Was it his message of equality and social justice, his magnetic charisma, or something else entirely? As we delve deeper into the world of Jim Jones and his movement, we must ask ourselves, would you have joined the People's Temple? Let's look into this further. Amidst the turbulence of the 1950s and 60s, particularly for marginalized communities, Jim Jones's message emerged as a ray of hope. His temple offered sanctuary from the pervasive bigotry and segregation of the era, providing essential provisions like food, shelter, and most importantly, a sense of belonging. Jones's unequivocal condemnation of racism and segregation struck a chord with those who felt disenfranchised. He espoused ideologies such as communism and Marxism, criticizing Western culture and religions for their perceived failures in supporting minorities. He believed that entrenched systems perpetuated segregation and discrimination, leaving marginalized groups vulnerable and oppressed. To minorities, atheists, and the economically disadvantaged, Jones's impassioned stance against societal injustices served as a compelling impetus to align themselves with his cause. In a climate fraught with prejudice and inequality, Jim Jones's temple emerged as a beacon of inclusivity and social justice, attracting a diverse array of individuals seeking refuge from the injustices of the world. Jim Jones' magnetic charm transcended the pulpit. He garnered the backing of influential figures, ranging from politicians to community leaders. His alliances with prominent individuals such as Rosalind Carter not only bestowed legitimacy upon his movement, but also painted him as a stalwart defender of civil rights, evoking parallels with the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Jones's sphere of influence extended to the political arena, where he found advocates in figures like Harvey Milk, who fervently supported him at political gatherings hosted by the temple. Private meetings with Walter Mondale to discuss his political aspirations, Jones received public commendation from Mondale, further enhancing his standing in the political realm. Additionally, Jones shrewdly cultivated ties with members of the press, who initially bestowed favorable coverage upon him during the early years of his venture into California. These strategic alliances with both political and media figures bolstered Jones's image and provided a veneer of credibility to his burgeoning movement, ultimately aiding its expansion and consolidation of power. Now, behind Jim Jones's charismatic facade lay a masterful manipulator. He meticulously honed his techniques by studying the dynamics of healing revivals and observing the methods employed by other cult leaders. Despite his professed atheism, Jones astutely wielded religion as a potent instrument to exert control and sway over his followers, ensnaring them further within his intricate web of influence. Jones's pursuit of mastery extended beyond religious realms. He delved into the strategies of charismatic figures throughout history, from the hypnotic charisma of Hitler to the peaceful persuasion of Gandhi, and from the ruthless totalitarianism of Stalin to the ideological fervor of Marx. Jones drew insights from a diverse array of leaders, adapting and incorporating their tactics into his own arsenal of manipulation. In his relentless quest for power and dominance, Jim Jones ceaselessly absorbed knowledge from both the light and dark corners of history, molding himself into a formidable force capable of captivating the hearts and minds of those who crossed his path. As we reflect on the tragic events of Jonestown, let us not only remember the lives lost, but also learn from the past. By understanding the allure of charismatic leaders like Jim Jones, we can better equip ourselves to recognize and resist their influence in the future. Jim used every technique in the cult leader's tool arsenal to coerce individuals and families. He used excessive control. He isolated his members from the outside world. He was adept at manipulation. People followed him as he was a strong personality. He exploited people financially, and he forced people to obey explicitly. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about Jim Jones and the People's Temple, you can listen to this podcast. We go in depth into the history of what happened and how he rose to control so many lives. Thank you for watching.